It seemed like Spain would go on to win their first game, but Ronaldo single-handedly made sure to earn Portugal an important point after completing his 51st career hat-trick, becoming the 51st player to ever do it on the biggest stage, that is the World Cup. Even though some of the goals were not a direct result of a tactic, it's important that we take a look at the tactics employed by these two sides because this game is easily one of the games of the tournament. And also, both managers are bound to use very similar tactics in their following matches. Without further ado, let's take a quick look at how Portugal lined up for this match. Moutinho and Carvalho were the double pivot in front of the defense. This was important for Portugal since they knew they'd have to rely on counterattacks to get them upfield. Having said that, this allowed Portugal to have a balance of 5 attacking players with Carvalho and Moutinho staying back during counterattacks, providing a fullback with the opportunity to go upfield. In case the options were limited when going up, the double pivot allowed easy ball retention through the middle. But that was very rare because of the way Spain were playing. We'll go into more detail after we take a look at how Spain lined up for this match. On paper, it was a 4-2-3-1, but in reality, it was a bit more complicated. Koke played as a box-to-box midfielder, while Isco was given the freedom to roam around. Busquets played in his preferred position of a defensive midfielder. Nacho started in place of the injured Carvajal. Portugal waited for Spain to come into their half before they started pressing with high pressure. Fernando Santos wanted to limit Busquets' involvement in Spain's build-up, so he tasked Guedes to stick with him, forcing the Spanish midfielder to go away from Portugal's half if he wanted to get involved. Due to that, Portugal switched to a 4-4-2 as soon as they lost the ball. Spain's team looks very strong on paper, but you have to realize these players have been playing in different systems. My point is, it was no surprise that it took Spain a little while before they were comfortable considering Busquets was being heavily marked. Portugal took full advantage of that in the early stages and started threatening De Gea's goal. Nacho is the weak link in Spain's defense. Ronaldo also knew that, and so he was targeting Nacho as soon as the game started. Not even 3 minutes into the match and then this happens. Even though I think Ronaldo went down easily, there was definite contact. I don't think I have to tell you who stepped up to give Portugal the lead. Right after the goal, Ronaldo started to drop deep on occasions to help in the build-up. The reason why he had to come deep every now and then is because of how Spain were playing without the ball. Spain switched to a 4-5-1 as soon as they lost the ball and then pressed with high pressure to regain possession. Spain pressed at an angle, forcing Portugal to go back since the double pivot in the midfield were being marked due to Spain's high pressure. Apart from that, Portugal had to be direct more than they would have liked and try to bypass the midfield whenever they got the ball. Either that or counterattacks were the only way Portugal got close to De Gea's goal. Now, let's take a closer look at Spain's tactics with the ball. Their movements throughout the game were exceptional. Portugal were really struggling to deal with Spain at times. Spain always had one player staying back on either side, while other wide players were allowed to go upfield. This was done because of Portugal's threat during counterattacks. Pay attention to Spain's movement in the following clip. Iniesta stays back while Isco comes deep. Alba's position drags Cedric while Costa also drops deep, creating a tiny bit of space for Koke to make a run in behind. Spain were constantly shifting Portugal's shape with their movements, looking for an opening to level the score. Iniesta stays back while Isco drops deep, dragging the right back, creating an opening for Alba and Costa in behind. Costa, instead of his usual role, was playing as a false number 9 as he drifted away from the center forward position numerous times, dragging defenders away from their positions. Silva, who was playing on the right, made his way over to the left side every now and then, giving Spain a man advantage on the left wing. It took some time, but Spain were finally in control, just like they would have hoped. Spain kept threatening Portugal's goal since they were able to create more chances now. In the 23rd minute, Spain were able to get their equalizer following a great passage of play from Diego Costa. VAR had a look at Costa's elbow and decided to not call the foul. Costa did not go for the ball, but Pepe went down too easily. It's a difficult decision for sure. Do you think it was a foul or not? Not too long after getting their first, Spain were getting back at it again as they almost got their second, following a great strike by Isco. Portugal kept relying on counterattacks to get them close to De Gea's goal. Spain looked very content with the way they were playing as the game went on. In the 44th minute, right before halftime, Ronaldo decides to have a go. There's no excuse for that blunder. De Gea should be saving that with no problems at all. The first half ended with Portugal leading with a goal. Before we get into the second half, please bear with me for about 30 seconds. I would like to tell you guys about Article 13 because it seems like not a lot of people know about this. In short, this law will affect probably everyone in the world, and that's worrying because it's very similar to the net neutrality issue. It affects a lot of other things as well. For example, it will censor memes and certain websites like Wikipedia, since they will disregard fair use, which means creators like me won't be able to make videos like these. Go ahead and visit the website in the description to get more details. Coming out of the break, both teams stuck with their tactics from the first half. It's no surprise that Spain got another goal in the 54th minute, considering they were dominating Portugal since the start of the second half. Busquets exploits the mismatch at the back post to set up Costa. After scoring their second, Spain continued to attack as they showed no signs of stopping. Not even 3 minutes had passed since Costa scored a second, and then this happens. Right after conceding their third, Portugal started pressing with high pressure all over the field. Spain quickly took note of this and started to play from the back whenever it was possible. Portugal were struggling to counterattack early in the second half as they kept giving the ball away. Portugal kept trying to make something happen as the game grew close to an end. While Spain were threatening Portugal's goal almost every time they got the ball. And came very close to getting their fourth of the game, which probably would have ended any chance of Portugal coming back. Around the 70th minute, both teams made some changes. Spain kept exploiting Portugal's high pressure as this made it easy to find spaces, while Portugal were throwing everything they had at Spain, looking for that equalizer to get them a point. In the 86th minute, Piqué fouls Ronaldo in a dangerous area. Even though, prior to this, Ronaldo hadn't scored from a free kick in competitive games in 46 attempts, he stepped up to score an amazing free kick, which left De Gea standing in his place. After that goal, the momentum shifted to Portugal's side, who almost got the winner in the closing stages of the game. The game ended 3-3 with both sides taking a point. Ronaldo made the difference and got Portugal a very important point against an immensely talented Spanish side. It was a great game to watch, no doubt. Spain played really well, but Ronaldo stole the show by becoming the first player in history to score a hat-trick against Spain in the World Cup. Which team do you think will top this group, Spain or Portugal? Let me know down in the comments below. I love to hear what you guys think. If you guys like what I do me a favor and click and watch my other videos since it will help my channel due to watch time. I would really appreciate that since my watch time gets affected negatively every single time I re-upload. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All the links can be found in the description. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thank you to Anthony, Tej Mullen, Shawshank BR, and more for supporting this channel on Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to support the channel, check out the Patreon page by clicking the link in the description or the card on the top right.